Hello everyone, Seraphin here, welcome back for more Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. When I last left you guys, we were in the middle of Chapter 9 here, taking on what looks like a couple of different squads of bad dudes. Let's take care of this northern group first and foremost. Oh yeah, these silly pirates were here, I forgot about those. So, when last I left you guys, we were just kind of chilling out and fighting some dudes, and we're having a great, good old time. And we're going to continue that today because I don't see any reason not to. I think it'll be a fun time. Toasting enemies with fire, or I guess wind in this case, is always a blast, if you ask me. So we're coming up on a point in the game pretty quick where there's going to be some, I'm not going to say extra challenge because that's not technically the correct term, but, oh nice, look at that. Defense, everything but magic and strength on Soaring, cool. Well, that's fun. We're coming up, I'm not going to say extra challenge is what's coming up, it's just, there's a very different way of playing the next chapter, and it, going to be honest with you guys, it might be a little bit tedious and boring to watch. I apologize for that. The big thing for me is, if you do this map the way that I plan on doing it, you get a boatload of bonus experience, which I would very much like to have, because, I don't know if I've mentioned this yet, I am planning on finishing this game and then transferring my save data to the sequel, Radiant Dawn. And I don't know if I've talked too much about transferring save data between Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn, but it's a nice little trick that you can do, in that when you finish Path of Radiance, any units that you manage to get to level 20, promoted, any stats that they capped out, those units, when you get them again in Radiant Dawn, spoiler alert, every character in this game is in the Radiant Dawn, they will have an extra +2 to those stats that they capped out, every single one. Or +5 if you cap HP somehow, though I don't think that's very likely in this game, considering the HP cap is 80. And I don't see anybody getting near that, except maybe Boyd, I guess. But even then, it's kind of a hit-or-miss situation. How do I want to deal with this bow guy here? I suppose we'll just 6 some... Who needs the experience? Wow, Ike's only level 13. I guess he can go up there a little bit. Granted, Ike's going to have plenty of time to do some leveling up between now and when he needs to worry about that. Just poking archers with sticks, no big deal. Very pointy, sharp sticks. But it's neither here nor there. And then we'll just have Boyd fill in the hole here. Actually, I don't know if I want Boyd getting hit by a bunch of sword users, so we're just going to leave him back while I heal up Ike with his sister. So yeah, the plan at the moment is to get certain units capped out so that they'll be better when we first get them in Radiant Dawn. There are several characters, in my opinion, or even on just an objective basis, that need a little extra help when you first get them in Radiant Dawn. They're not quite as good as they otherwise would be. Oh, Mordecai is now a giant blue tiger, which is awesome. Here come those pirates. No big deal. That being said, though, we're going to see if we can't focus on making the not so spectacular units a little bit better in this game, and get them capped out so that they'll have a little extra boost going into Radiant Dawn. That'll make my life a lot easier. Mostly because Radiant Dawn is a very difficult game, especially in the early stages. It can be argued, and in fact usually is argued by a number of people that play that game, that the first part of Radiant Dawn, the first segment, so to speak, is by far the most difficult. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that you're given units that aren't spectacular. Some of them may end up growing up to become pretty great, but they don't start out that way. And unfortunately, the first part of Radiant Dawn features completely new characters, with a couple of exceptions. So you don't have the opportunity to grind them out in this game and make them better. They just come in underwhelming for the most part. Certainly there are some exceptions to that rule. We'll talk more about those characters when we actually get to that point. I know it's a ways off, but I figure there's no point in me talking about Radiant Dawn characters when we're not going to see them at all in this game. But yeah, like I said, every character in this game makes a reappearance in Radiant Dawn, with one exception. We haven't seen that character yet, nor will we for a very long time. But there is one character that doesn't come back, and there's a story-based reason for that. But yeah, again, we'll talk about that later. So the Grail Mercenaries are arguably some of the best units in Radiant Dawn, because when you get them, they're already good. Kind of like in this game, the Grail Mercenaries are already good, and they just continue to get better. So they generally won't need a great deal of babying, quote unquote. I guess some of them do. Boyd's a pretty good example. Boyd is actually very good in this game. One of your best units, I would argue. He's one of the only axe users you get early on, I guess apart from Titania, but if you don't want to use your overpowered promoted paladin right away, then Boyd's really your only axe user for a good portion of this game. But that being said, when you get Boyd back again in Radiant Dawn, he's not quite as impressive as he is in this game. And the reason for that, I don't know, but he needs a little extra help. So I think we're going to put some emphasis on training Boyd this game. Nice. That being said, it's not going to be difficult to do because, again, Boyd's already a good unit, and we're just going to be using him anyway. So it'll be fairly effortless to, I think, fairly effortless to get Boyd to a promoted. Holy smokes. 14 defense and 10 resistance on Ike right now. That is insane. Like, nothing is going to hurt him. Which is funny because he's already hurt. I don't know how he gets hurt when nothing hurts him, but it seems a little odd. Also, I got to remember that Marcia is flying this way. We're definitely going to want to recruit her. We have the ability to do that this turn, or this chapter, so we should most certainly do that. I'm going to heal up Mia real quick though, because she's a little on the low HP side, and we don't want her getting insta-wrecked on accident by one of these stupid pirates. They should go for her. Can't imagine why they wouldn't, but you never know. And I think we'll just have Rolf go visit this house over here. And as always, Titania will be on backup, just in case. So there's actually one other neat thing about transferring data from this one to Radiant Dawn, and that is there is one character you get who transfers their stats whole cloth, like exactly compared. Take their stats in this game when you're done with them and then transfer it over, and it's exactly the same stat spread. The unfortunate reality of that one character is, even if you don't do that and just take them at their base value in Radiant Dawn, they're actually just as good. There really isn't any dramatic difference in their performance compared to whether you transfer them or not, which is disappointing to say the least, because it's like, why would you bother training them then? And to be completely honest with you, I don't know. There really isn't a great reason to train them if they're just going to be just as good. So we're going to go ahead and put Ilyana here and see if she can tank this guy, no problem. I expect she can. She only has 3 defense, but yeah, she's fine. She won't get killed. These mages can't hurt her for sure. She has a triangle advantage on the fire mage anyway, so even if he does decide to move, which I don't think he does, she's going to be fine. So speaking of topping people off, let's get that taken care of. Now Marcia should fly on her own to talk to Ike on her turn, so we don't have to worry about having Ike do that for us. We're going to rescue here, and then I'll just take and drop her. Not shove, drop, thank you. Make sure we got enough room for her to come talk to them. And now we're going to deal with these silly pirates. Actually, we're going to let them come to me, because I can't move in to get them right now, apparently. Alright, Rolf, what's in the house? The cat lady. And she's scared of us. I'm playing dead. Huh. Interesting. Wow. Okay, well, she's not very nice. Gave us a restore staff, though. That's interesting. We're going to go ahead and let Riss have that. Make sure he's not going to be in axe range here. Good looking. Trade. Give me that. That sounds useful. Alright, so we'll just keep soaring here like we always have been. Right, see how this goes. Like I said, I think Mia's not going to have any issue killing these guys. Especially if she manages to land a crit somehow. That'd be awesome. Oh, wow. Okay, that sword's doing work. That resolution sword is very nice. See, Miss Mia's turning out really good so far, and I'm actually really happy about that, because I like Mia a lot as a character, but compared to other sword users in this game, she kind of falls flat a little bit in certain situations. She's incredibly fast, but usually it's her strength that's the issue. But right now, we're seeing that's not really holding her back all that much, which is good. And also, I gave her a refined weapon, so that probably helps a bit. Alright, bow guy, what you got? That steel bow is going to tickle a little bit. Yeah. But I crit with an L Thunder and one-shot him, so all is well. Not a problem here, folks. That's a level up for Ilyana. That puts her to, what, level 8? Is this her first level up or her second one? Magic and res, alright. Strength, too. That's interesting. I'll take that, too. That L Thunder is not light. So the more strength she has, the better, in my opinion. And here comes Marcia. It's me, Marcia. Marcia, Marcia, Marcia. She resigned as one of the Holy Pegasus Knights. It's interesting. We're a destitute band of mercenaries. She really wants to be a part of this group, huh? Tell me what needs doing. Well, that's fun. Alright, so let's heal up Ilyana real quick before I have her take down some mages. Probably send Marcia over there, too. I think Marcia's a little under-leveled. Yeah, she's level 5. Woof. We're definitely going to be getting her bumped up with some bonus XP, I'm pretty sure. In fact, why don't I just sick her on these mages? It's probably the best thing to do in this case. I'll let them attack me first. Again, this boss doesn't move off this base, so that's good. Oh, he has an arm scroll. Interesting. Arm scrolls, if you didn't know, will bump up the weapon level of weapon you're currently equipped. So if you're just shy of one weapon rank to use something, just eat an arm scroll and you'll be all set. I'm not sure how you're supposed to eat it. If you're supposed to just, you know, shove it in your face or maybe put it on a bun, add some mustard and some ketchup. I don't know. Do what you want. I don't think there's any particular prescribed way to eat the arm scroll, but needless to say, that is how you earn weapon experience, is by eating the thing. Because, of course, it just disappears as soon as you eat it. Alright, let's see how Mia's doing up here. She's level 12 and Soren's level 12 also. Why don't we let Soren have this kill? Just because that sounds like fun. I probably should be leveling up his fire ranking, because then he can use L-Fire when the time comes. Although L-Fire is quite heavy. The problem with Soren is his strength is not in a position where he's able to adequately use anything other than wind right now. Because wind is by far the lightest magic. I'm hoping I can at least get him like 1 point of strength. That'll at least alleviate a number of his issues, but considering we're not quite at that point yet, let's go ahead and heal up Mr. Soren while we're talking about him. We got another pirate. He's not in range, so we'll just put Mia over here. Cat dude. Lord Rodolph spoke of you. Funny how he spoke to this guy, but not that other chick in the other house there. There's a dangerous mage with them. So yeah, he's telling us here that Beast Tribe are very vulnerable to fire magic. So if we were to go up against kitties and tigers and whatnot, fire is the best way to go. He's going to give us a pure water? Talisman, even better. Alright. That is a permanent +2 to resistance for somebody. I am not going to object to receiving one of those whatsoever. Alright, well, we don't really need Rolf for anything, so let's just proceed onward. I don't think there's anything more in the way of reinforcements in this chapter. At least not to my knowledge. Yep, here comes the mage. No big deal. I like mages. And Marcia here eats mages for breakfast. I'm fairly certain. I will say I'm not the biggest fan of Pegasus Knight battle animations in this game. They are much better in Radiant Dawn. In fact, they're incredibly cool in Radiant Dawn, I'm not going to lie. Why don't I heal her first? Actually, I can't reach her unless we shove her with somebody. Let's shove her with Boyd because reasons. And we'll just top off Marcia real quick. Gotta get the healing XP for Mist here because she's level 1. Or did she level up to 2 now? I don't remember. No, I don't think she's quite level 2 yet. Nope, she's level 1 still. Alright, well, we're gonna poke this sad little mage, and then I'm gonna fly over and poke the other one. Because that's what you do, is you poke mages with sticks. Especially when you're on a winged horse. Because everyone knows winged horses are the best. I actually do like Pegasi quite a bit. Alright, so let's take out that mage too. And then how to deal with Mr. Bossman here. He is a level 3 halberdier with a Night Killer. So we are not getting Oscar anywhere near him. That will be bad news bears. He has counter. Interesting. I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference. Counter never procs in my experience. I've seen it happen maybe a half dozen times overall, and I've played through this game maybe a dozen times total, so it does not happen, like, ever. And it's really disappointing, too, because it would otherwise be a halfway decent skill, I think. But because of the fact that you can't get the stupid thing to proc ever, what's the point? It's the same for a lot of skills in this game, unfortunately. There's some really good ones. Advantage is quite good. A lot of the mastery skills really aren't that good in this game. And I guess talk a little bit about mastery skills. So every character class has what's called a mastery skill. And the way that you unlock the mastery skill is by having a special scroll. And we only get 4 of those scrolls in the whole game. So 4 characters of our choosing can gain access to their mastery skill. And some are just plain garbage, unfortunately. So it's a pretty easy choice when it comes to certain situations about who to give them to. For example, Paladins get Soul as a mastery skill, which might be familiar to some of you if you've played other Fire Emblem games. Soul will heal you for the amount of damage that you deal to the enemy. And it has like a skill-based percentage to proc, I think. So whatever your skill rating is, don't quote me on that. I think it's skill-based. It might be luck or something. But yeah, that's pretty nice. And it's very valuable in Paladins because they're frontline units and they tend to take a lot of hits. So having something that heals them whenever they do damage is incredibly valuable. Other mastery skills in their hand, not so good. For example, Boyd's is okay. Boyd, as a warrior, has access to the Colossus skill for mastery, and all that does is deal extra damage based on the difference between him and his opponent's build or constitution score. And Boyd, being a warrior, tends to have a pretty good constitution score, but it still only amounts to being maybe 5 or 6 extra points of damage. It really isn't that drastic. And again, it requires a skill proc to activate, so it's not always a sure thing. Boyd's build is only 10 right now. I think once he becomes a warrior, he gets to build like 12, maybe 13. And then if you can give him a statue frag to make it like 15. But even then, like I said, you got people whose build is like, yeah, it's not going to do that much more damage, especially to bigger, bulkier units where you might actually need the extra damage. They're going to be bulky and heavy and also going to have high builds, so you won't do that much more damage to them. So Colossus is kind of a skill. Not really my cup of tea, for example. I'm trying to think of some other good ones. Laguz, I don't think have mastery skills in this game. They do in Radiant Dawn, but not in this one. Swordmaster's mastery skill is pretty cool. It's called Astra, and it lets you attack 5 times in a row at half damage. So it's basically almost a crit in terms of damage, but not quite. But it can proc separately from a crit, and each of those 5 hits that you deal during an Astra attack each have an independent chance to critically hit themselves. So potentially, you could be doing a ton of damage with that. The only problem is, every one of those 5 swings that you deal depletes your weapon durability. So if you proc Astra with a weapon that doesn't have a lot of uses, and it ends up just being a waste because you would have killed him anyway, then you end up losing weapon durability that you otherwise would have had, which is a little sad. Snipers, mastery skill is, I forget what it is. I think it's Deadeye or something. Has a chance to paralyze the foe or put him to sleep or some nonsense. But why would you want to do that? Just kill him. Like, I don't know. Like I said, there's very few mastery skills that are really worth using. But that being said, it's probably going to be mostly our paladins we're going to put it on. Generals and halberdiers actually have access to the same mastery skill in this game. That's called Luna, and Luna is incredible. Luna is arguably one of the best skills as well. It cuts your enemy's defense in half when you attack them. So if you're fighting somebody who has 30 defense, and you're only going to do like 5 damage to them, and you proc Luna, well, now they only have 15 defense, and you're doing 20 damage instead. So it makes a big difference. And halberdiers get access to that. We get two halberdiers in this game, and we also get a couple of generals, and they can all gain access to that. It's very valuable. So we're definitely probably going to be putting that on somebody. I'm going to let Kotov here attack me first. Lay some steel axe into him. There's nobody else left up here to fight, so I guess we'll just chill. Probably should have moved Soren down to the base entrance there. That would have been the smart thing to do. But I didn't think ahead that much. That's okay. I think we can handle that boss with what we have, so why don't we just rescue Soren and get him out of here, actually. I don't think anybody else up this way needs any healing. I could ward for some extra XP, but what's the point? I don't want to waste that thing. A ward's actually a halfway decent staff. It acts as a pure water that you can target on somebody, and it's reusable, so that's really nice. Look at the size of that stupid spear. Death to the rogues who defy Dayan. Well, ow. Well, lay some steel axe into that jerk. I will say halberdier armor is quite cool looking in this game. It almost looks like samurai armor, especially in their in-game battle model. I wish their helmets even look a little bit like a kabuto, and that's really cool. I am definitely okay with how they made them look in this game. I wonder if I can... So Ilyana does 11 with L Thunder. Her hit chance isn't spectacular, but Steel Axe does 14 to this guy. Yeah, I'll take a risk. We'll see if I can kill him with Ilyana. That'd be nice. Be a free level for her. Ilyana, by the way, is one of the characters that needs a little extra help going into Radiant Dawn, so we're going to do everything we can to get her maxed out. I actually really like Ilyana a lot, and there's a number of reasons for that, but the biggest one is she is the only character in the game, in both games. She's the only character in both games that can use the most powerful thunder magic. She is the only thunder specialty mage. I don't know why that is. Like, even in Radiant Dawn, there are no other ones that can do what she does, which is very interesting. But that being said, I really like being able to use the Uber Thunder Magic because it is very powerful and also very useful for a certain part of the endgame. But we'll talk about that when we get there. But I just like Ilyana a lot. I think she's a good unit. She's not quite as good, I don't think, maybe, as Soren. Soren's just better all around, well-rounded character, so to speak. Soren's also much faster than Ilyana. However, Ilyana makes up for a lot of his shortcomings in that she actually has a decent strength growth. Her skill is just as good as his. Her resistance is just as good as his. Her luck's a little on the shabby side, and her HP's not great. But honestly, neither is Soren's. So Soren has the advantage of being faster. Everything else they do is pretty much comparable. I guess there really isn't anything Ilyana has over Soren other than her strength growth. But still, I like her a lot. I think she's a good unit, and we're going to keep using her as much as we can and turn her into a monster. At least that's the goal. So that's a lightning bolt to the face. In the name of the Empire. Dead. And that is going to be an edible arm scroll for my lady Ilyana here. Not that she's going to need it. Actually, she might if I want her to get to maximum rank lightning magic to use that Uber scroll. Defense and res, huh? That's alright. If I want her to get to S rank light magic to use that Uber magic, she might need to use that thing, actually. Because magic weapon XP growth in this game is pathetically slow. Like, we're talking molasses in January slow. It's bad. Alright, well, that's the turn over with, or the chapter over with. Actually, let's just seize and we'll be done here. And we're done a little early, so I apologize for that. Let's do some exposition, maybe. Actually, I think we get to go meet the King of Gallia now, don't we? It seems unlikely they're pursuing the princess. Why else would they be here? Are they just invading Gallia because? Are they dumb? Yeah, it's amazing they haven't already, really. So it's war, again. Titania's got a point, so if Dayan starts attacking Laguz, it could draw other nations into the war on either side. And that would just be, like, basically World War at this point. Unfortunately, Soren here is, again, showing his true colors here, and that he's a little bit of a racist. And Ike's just like, I don't know what's going on. And Leith is, of course, berating him for being silly beorc. On your skinny beorc legs. That's funny. Yeah, I guess we do get to go to the palace right away. So this is going to be some fun stuff. It's Princess Elincia. She's here. She's okay. That's good. Oh, yeah, she doesn't know about that until just now. She called him Ike. Uh-oh. Here comes the king. Yes! So this is Mufasa, I mean Kainagus, the king of Gallia. The Lion King, so to speak. He is awesome, and by far one of the coolest characters in this game. So yeah, he is Kainagus, ruler of Gallia. And this is Ike. Yeah, we know who he is already. Oh yeah, so apparently Kainagus and Titania know each other. Oh, interesting. Who is this? Oh, jeez, it's another big giant dude. Gifka, my shadow. Pay him no more heed than you would the air, but he's massive. So Gifka is the king's bodyguard, basically, or the king's like confidant, so to speak. He calls him his shadow, but him and the king are like inseparable. Soren's like, wait, what? You want me here? Notice that Ike is not. This is something that always bugged me a little bit. While Ike is very naive and innocent, he also doesn't have a great grasp of proper like social etiquette when it comes to dealing with nobility or royalty. Like Titania is addressing the king as Your Majesty, which obviously is what you're supposed to do, and Ike's just like, hey there, like, come on, dude, you should know better than that. But the king does not seem to be fazed by it, so I guess that's up to him. So here we learn that Grail used to be a mercenary working for Gallia. And we also learn that Princess Elincia's father, the king, King Raymond of Crimea, and his brother were, I guess, less militant when it came to dealings with the laguz. Beorc and laguz relations have never been historically all that good. They just kind of tolerate each other and are very wary of one another and tend to just keep each other alone and not do anything. But it seems that Princess Elincia's family actually wanted to make strides to improve their relations. And then he's like, ah, yes, Titania, you are also unique and awesome, because yes, she is. Ah, so here we learn Ike and Mist were both born here in Gallia. I mean, of course you wouldn't remember. You were probably a tiny child and don't remember anything. Somebody was hunting your parents. Huh. Hmm. Oh, interesting. So that really loud roar we heard when Ike was encountering the Black Knight was actually the king himself. Oh, so the king knows about the Black Knight too. That's incredibly generous of him. And Ike's just like, yeah, that sounds cool, but nah. Yeah, Ike is very determined to avenge his father now, so... Titania's like, what, dude, come on, what the heck? You're literally going against your father's dying wish. I like how he thinks he can just get stronger in like the next couple of weeks and go fight this Black Knight dude again. Even though his dad got wrecked. Yeah, he's got another point here. So the kings and nobility working toward unifying their nations really isn't a sentiment that the common people share. They're just like, ew, no, we don't want to do that. But the nobilities are trying to make things better. And everything Titania says here is exactly correct. Yeah, and people of Dayan really don't like laguz. If that wasn't already evidenced by the fact that every single Dayan soldier you've seen so far refers to them as subhuman. Who cares about elder statesmen? So here's the thing that I don't understand. King Koenig is here. The way that laguz work, as far as their nobility structure, their societal structure, is the strongest rule. So Koenigus not only is incredibly imposing and, you know, a really wise leader and everything, but he's easily the strongest laguz in this entire nation. He's a giant beat stick of a boss. And that's why he's the king, because he's the strongest one. So for anybody to challenge his decisions, like, you know, oh, I'm going to keep the princess safe, and it's like, no, we don't want you. It's like, dude, fight me. Bring it. Like, really? Would anybody really challenge him if he decided to do that? And the laguz also respect strength above all else, so I really don't think that anybody would dare question his motives or his authority in that regard. That's just not how they're wired. But Koenig is here as being an otherwise wise leader, and is like, you know, I don't want to piss my people off, so unfortunately I can't directly help you. So he's telling us we should go to Benyan, which is the largest country in the continent. It's also a beorc nation. And he's suggesting we should take the princess there and ask them for help against fighting Dayan and taking back her country. And he wants to hire Ike and his mercenaries to escort her there and protect her. And Ike's like, yep, let's do what the king said. So Soren, as crass and difficult as he can be, he is fiercely loyal to Ike and will do anything that he tells him to, pretty much, because Ike is like the only person that gives Soren the time of day, it seems like. And unfortunately for Soren, Ike is really like his only friend, so he is fiercely loyal to him and will do anything for him at this point. So even though he probably doesn't like working with laguz and protecting the princess when he thinks it's a stupid idea, he's going to do it anyway, and he's not going to complain too much. Alright, so that was Chapter 9. Sorry for all the exposition, but you got to meet the epic King of Lions, one of my favorite characters in this game. And now we have ourselves a new goal, or I guess really the only first goal we ever had. Long-term, at any rate. Our goal now is to seek the aid of Benyan in restoring Crimea to power. So that'll be our objective going forward, and we're going to be escorting the princess on our way to that country next time. So tune in for that. Thank you for sticking with me up to this point. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next chapter. So until then, this has been Seraphin. Stay classy, internets.